Wallace.
And I have Don Holly here with me.
3 phases, dressage, cross-country, show jump. And you're out on course and something's going wrong or going right. You know how to react to what they're doing.
It was built originally to be a schooling facility, and so everything's set up very conveniently.
Welcome to the Jon and Rick Show, brought to you by Horse Trailer Pros. We're really excited to be here, and make sure that you check us out on all of your podcast players. We are everywhere you want to be.
Why are you talking so fast?
Am I talking fast? Do we need to redo it?
No, I think it's really cool. But what else are we? All the podcasts are iHeart, Spotify,
And Apple, and then whatever else there is. We're on them all.
I
I was
it's
trying
cool
to get
bring
it in. We've
like
only
that.
got.
I like to give you a hard time.
We've
You've
only
been on
got 10
vacation.
minutes, and I
Been on
want.
vacation, been slaloming and drinking beer and.
Yeah, in case you guys haven't seen it, there's an amazing video of me on social media skiing, slaloming while drinking a beer, and I didn't even wipe out on camera.
No, you didn't. Did you wipe out afterwards?
No, I was good.
But you told me in the phone conversation is you won't ski down here because you're afraid of alligators.
Well, I'm afraid of anything that's going to eat me in the water.
Well,
I mean, I get a little jumpy in northern Wisconsin in the lakes because they have sturgeon and muskie.
Do they grab your toes?
No, they're totally
Then why are
safe.
you afraid of them?
Because when I was a child, I was told by my uncle that there were sharks in the deep end of the pool to keep me out of the deep end of the pool, and it scarred me for life. And so now
That would have been Jaws, 1975, that just had its big 30-year.
Have you watched that movie since it came out?
Oh yeah.
It's horrible.
But Jaws?
Yeah, I mean the special effects. How was I ever scared?
Are you kidding me? It's the #1 movie again in the land.
Well, that might be, but the special effects are horrendous.
Well, that's just because you're stuck on that thing right there.
That's right. That's right. Good
So-
special effects.
So back to Horse Trailer Pros,
Yes.
who's our presenting sponsor, that we're in these beautiful studios, right?
Right.
And over there sits a tire
Yes.
that, let me tell you everybody, Matt came to my rescue on my way back from chat. I was pulling my big bison trailer, and last year, y'all probably remember, I had a fire in my trailer, and
Yeah.
Matt came to the rescue on that one. It was bent axles. This year, I don't know what the heck the problem is, but we blew out 3 tires on the way home. The whole side of the trailer was down into the grass. I called Matt. I was 100 miles from home.
Right.
I hear his family in the background, and I'm like, I don't know what to do. I'm on the side of the road. He already knew I had blowouts. He goes, I'm getting in my truck now. I'll be there in an hour.
That's amazing. And the thing that's really important to know here is it's a bison trailer that's the issue, not Horse Trailer Pros.
That's correct.
The issue, right?
Yeah, and I'm totally believing the bison trailer issues are the axles aren't heavy or
Right.
aren't rated enough for the weight that we have in it.
Right.
And to go to the heavier axle, the whole trailer has to be redesigned.
Right.
So it's not, I mean,
You're doing a horrible job if you're trying to be able to resell this trailer at any point.
That's okay, I don't give a shit.
All right, cool.
Oh, sorry, shoot.
Don't give a shoot. Right.
It would be traded, and anybody would you don't care what the dealer cares about it, right?
Right.
So anyway, thank you, Matt, and thank you, Maxine, because I know I pulled him away from home, and he came up, and let me tell you, it was an hour, and he shimmied the trailer back and forth because it was sunk in the grass. Briggs was sitting here going, we got to do this, we got to do that. I had to unhook the trailer.
That's always nerve-wracking with this horse
And
on it.
the trailer's like this. I'm like, I unhook it? Are you sure? He goes, it's going to be fine. And then he started lowering and shimmying it. I don't know how we did it, but we dug out the grass. We got the tire on. Then we drove it 5 miles where we put the second tire on. And I just wanted, again, Horse Trailer Pros is the best place to bring your trailer. Within 2 days, they had it all fixed, all new tires, everything ready to go. It's ready to go to Poplar. And we're just going to try to follow protocols of letting air out of the tire a little bit
Right.
with the heat and not go as fast as I like to go.
What's funny is when we first signed on with Horse Trailer Pros and Matt graciously agreed to sponsor this show.
Right.
I remember we said to him, you should come on the show.
Right.
And we'll do a little interview, do a spot with you. It'll be great. And he said, no, I don't do that. I don't go on TV. I'm a worker and a manager. And I was like, oh, come on, you could come on. And then I saw a picture of him fixing your trailer on the side of the road, and he did not look thrilled that you were taking a picture of him to
No,
put
he
on
wasn't.
social
And he
media.
had flip-flops on and board shorts from the
Right,
pool.
right.
So we do have the picture. We will put it up so y'all can see it because he was there. He did a great job, and I just appreciate it. And I'm back on the road. We'll be going to Poplar. But also, Josh, who works for Matt and Maxine, I want Joel to record Josh because he answers the phone. Have you ever noticed how he answers the phone?
No, I'm not an observant
Are you
person.
ready?
I'm ready.
Okay, this is for you, Josh. Horse Trailer Pros.
Oh, he's got a jingle.
He's got a jingle. I
Nice.
was like, we're going to have a jingle for Horse Trailer Pros.
All right, awesome.
So, Josh, we're going to put you on the spot. We're going to record you for the Horse Trailer Pros. You just say it 3 times in a row, and it's going to be perfect for the jingle.
They'll have a jingle. Every company needs a good jingle.
The jingle's there. Are you getting worried about moving on to something else?
No, I just was actually, well, we're going to. This is my nice segue. It was very smooth. Well done.
Thanks.
Smooth operation. I wanted to hear how Billy's doing, Billy Turner.
Billy is doing terrific. Let me tell you, everybody out there that gave to the GoFundMe for Billy Turner, Seattle Slews trainer, he had a devastating accident in which he broke his neck. He then was discovered to have cancer. And we started this GoFundMe account, and it's raised, I think, up to almost $50,000 now. His insurance, there was something wrong with his insurance, and his wife, Pat, needed help, so we did it. And Billy came home with that money. He got a hospital bed. He got a daily nurse. He got a therapist coming in to help him. And today we got a picture. We didn't go see him, but we got a picture of him, and he was walking on his own without a walker.
Awesome.
And so his follow-up for his neck is coming up, excuse me, next week. But I got to tell you, as many people and all the people that gave to the GoFundMe, and these are some really big names, Bob Baffert, another Triple Crown winner, a lot of people that did it. And Pat Turner wanted me to tell everybody that did give to the GoFundMe and sent well wishes that she appreciates all that you have done. It made a difference in Billy's life, and he just got to see his grandchildren the other day, and we have a picture of that as well.
Awesome.
So
That gives you the warm fuzzies for sure.
Yeah.
So
it's
how
really
much
good.
money has been raised so far?
I think $48,700.
And is that still ongoing? We still need
It's still
more?
ongoing. We put a $75,000 money to be raised. His insurance has started to kick in July 1st, but it didn't pay for all the stuff that they've had to have. So I think it's well deserved, and the medical bills that he received while he was in the hospital are up to like $300,000. So I think any money that we can raise to help them is
Right.
going to be beneficial.
Right. Well, I'm glad that everybody's stepped up and
They certainly
looking
did.
at him. It sounds like he's doing all right.
Yeah, and thanks for
Better.
your donation as well.
Yeah, of course. It wasn't a lot, but it's what
No,
do what
hey,
you can do, right? And
yep.
I do actually think with this fundraising stuff, that's something that people need to know. Whatever of these different fundraisers we have going on, like this one for Billy, like you see these big donations that people make, and I think it's a little intimidating sometimes, and you think, oh, my $100 doesn't mean anything, but every bit
No,
helps. Right?
$5. I think I've seen $5. Every
Yeah.
penny helps.
Because it's not, it's obviously about raising the money, but it's also about letting the person know that, like, look at all these different people that are donating.
Correct.
So if you got $5, $20 to donate
Sure.
to it, do it. And I know, I've only met Billy a couple times, but I know he appreciates it.
No, he definitely does. And let me tell you, to have, again, I've said it before, he's sharp as a tack. He can tell you all about horses, race horses, how to get them ready, steeplechase horses. He knows the history of a really famous steeplechase stallion named Cormac, which Cormac got injured at a steeplechase race with a glass bottle. And that horse went on to produce the core line, Bally Cores, all the stuff that we know in the eventing world.
Right.
I have a lot of Cormac line in our family's horses as well. So, he touches a lot of people.
Right. Well, being in the thoroughbred industry, it would
Yep.
filter out into all the sport horses,
Exactly.
wouldn't it? Absolutely.
Exactly.
And so then we've also had some events happening.
We have.
I haven't been out officially yet, but a lot of people have. And so
Yeah, I know Plantation was one of the first ones to hit the road. I think that was the first one after
it was
COVID.
the first one because they were the first one who had the frameable
Right.
table, too.
And exactly. And I think at, where's Plantation?
That's Plantation.
Yeah, here we go. So Open Intermediate, I know they ran an intermediate down to beginner novice maybe.
Yeah.
But Alice Roosevelt on Fernhill Zorro won that one, and then Philip was second on.
She beat Philip.
She did.
Nice.
And then the second intermediate B at Plantation was Maya Black.
Yeah, and that's
Yeah.
that Master Seahorse.
She was like on fire there. I think
Yep.
she won at a prelim course. So Plantation, I understand, did a really good job with the COVID guidelines and making sure that everything went smoothly. So great for them. Then what did we have here? That was Maryland International.
Yes, we had Maryland. I did see that the 1-star short was won by our good friend and former USEF Director of Eventing, Joni Morris.
Good for you, Joni.
Yeah, well
Congratulations.
done, Joni.
And so the 1-star is the modified level, right?
Right. Yep, and then Ariel Grauld won a division there in the 2-star, and then Colleen Rutledge was back out with Covert Rights. That's a great horse.
I know,
Good
right?
honor.
Back and going. And she actually had a great score. She had a 23.
Yeah, good
for
for
you.
her. And then Chat ran 2 weekends in a row. I know Clayton, who's going to be coming up here in a minute, was on that.
We
so.
did the first chat, and it went well. I think the second chat went even better as far as COVID. I think they had a lot of hiccups in the first week at chat, but they smoothed it out and got things going, and I think everybody started really being able to get comfortable with the masks and what to do and how to do
people
it.
just need to know they got to wear it and follow the rules so
Sure.
we can keep eventing. So listen, we're about out of time here. We're going to be back with Clayton Fredericks. We've also got later on in the show Shelley Page and Max Corcoran coming.
Yeah, and I apologize not making that.
Yeah, well, technology.
Yeah, right. I kicked it.
So I did a little interview with them on Skype earlier today, so we're going to have that for you coming up later in the show. And then my very good friend and was actually a nanny for my family for a little bit, and great horse person, Bronwyn Watts, who has a really cool business with surrogate mares.
I know, that's really cool.
So we're gonna
She's
get
in the
Bronwyn
house.
in.
I see her.
She's here too, so
Yay.
we're excited to have her here shortly, and we'll be right back after these messages.
Thank you.
Want to advertise on the Jon and Rick Show? Contact Jon at 352-875-8622.
Or call Rick at 850-879-2649.
Sweet Dixie South is an equestrian facility built for the lifestyle of eventers of all levels. Whether you are coming to Ocala for the entire season, a week, a month, or a year, this beautiful 160-acre farm is the place to settle in and enjoy your time with horses. They offer a full cross-country course with 2 water features, banks, ditches, an amazing footing to gallop, a spectacular all-weather footing ring, large grass jumping fields, and dressage rings. Located in the rolling hills of North Marion County in Reddick, Florida, Sweet Dixie South has 100 stalls and numerous paddocks, apartments, a line of camper hookups, washer and dryer amenities, as well as common areas to complete your experience during your stay. Under the ownership of Mike Campbell and the management of Can-Do Joe Adams of Top Rail Tack, Sweet Dixie South has transformed into a premier eventing training facility in Florida. Go to www.sweetdixiesouth.com for more information.
Jump for Joy USA has what you need for your private farm or recognized competition. Our jumps are no maintenance, easy to move, and affordable. No scraping or painting necessary. We offer jump stands, wings, fillers, water trays, and more. Poles are wood-filled and available in 4 weights and lengths. And we now offer octagonal poles. Our cross-country portables and brush jumps are extremely useful and have been used for training by the British eventing team since 1990. Easy to move from the arena to the field and no tractor required, so you can change your setup often. We ship coast to coast in the USA and Canada. Visit our website, jumpforjoyusa.com. The equestrian life has big highs, heartbreaking lows, and so many moments of self-doubt. From CCI 5-star to starter, every rider needs a support system and a cheering section. A care package filled with equestrian goodies can be the perfect way to celebrate, congratulate, or commiserate. Let Present Pony do the work so you don't have to miss an opportunity to express your love and support.
Welcome to the Jon and Rick Show. We're glad to be back, and we're here with Clayton Fredericks. We are also brought to you by Horse Trailer Pros, as we talked about in the first segment, and
We are on all the podcasts. We're on Spotify, Apple Music, or
We're
Apple
everywhere.
Podcasts, and iHeartRadio is another one we just got.
we're wanted everywhere, and we like it, so please keep watching us.
So we are excited because we have Australian, Olympian, and World Games individual silver medalist, Clayton Fredericks here. Clayton, thanks for joining us.
No worries, thanks for having me.
And we were talking a little bit about all the accolades that Clayton has, and you were saying about the World Cup.
Yeah,
So
and
you-
that apparently I won the World Cup in Malmo, Sweden, and John was there.
Yeah. So I came over with Darren, actually.
Yeah.
Darren Chacha?
Darren Chacha, and
That was quite a trip.
we Yeah, it was a fun trip actually. But I remember I was there and I smoked around that cross country. I was chasing you. I wasn't too far off, and then I glanced off a corner because I got distracted, and Clayton was actually defending me.
What was
about
happening
that.
there?
Well, you know, Malmo is a pretty amazing place. They have the event is right on the beachfront.
Right.
And on the cross-country course, just to the edge of the cross-country course, they actually have a naked, nudist beach.
Right.
Nudist beach. No
And I was
wonder
galloping
you got
around, and I
distracted.
might have gotten distracted looking over there. And
Well, you heard about the Swedish women, so
Yeah.
obviously, I think that's what John was caught his eye, and he glanced off the corner.
It happens. You know what's funny? real quick story, then we'll get back to this. Is we went over and we hired a Swedish girl to groom for us, and she was your stereotypical Swedish girl. She was beautiful. And her name was Yanni, and all week she was grooming for us, and I was married and behaved perfectly the entire
course
time.
you did.
But I do remember on the last
Why
day.
do you have to mention that, John?
Just
Why do you
to
have
make sure that
say
I was behaving well.
that you were behaving well.
I did nothing.
isn't
I did
that a
nothing
given?
wrong, Jen.
Isn't that a given?
My wife knows this story. So the last day we're there, I'm done riding. The horse show jumped great, and it was a long walk, if you remember, from the stadium right
He
back
doesn't
to the
because
barn.
he won.
Right.
No,
Yeah,
it was a long walk.
It was a long walk.
It was a long
and
walk.
so I went to give the horse to Yanni, and she was gonna lead it back, and I'm like, oh, if you want to ride him, you can hack him back. So she's like, okay. And then, because she didn't speak great English, what she meant to say was, would you give me a leg up? But what she said was, John, would you hold me? And I was like, Yanni, I've been waiting all week. So that was
See,
my
those are
highlight.
the
You
old
win,
days.
but I got to hold Yanni.
Yeah, there you go. There you go.
Well, that was a fun event that you won, and then you did another World Cup that you won?
So just after the Olympic Games, we did the on the beach again. I'll probably obviously performed pretty well on the beach, but
Right.
Just on the horse side, probably not on the nude bathing side.
no, but in Deauville in France.
Ah.
Yeah. So that was actually on a racetrack. It wasn't quite right on the beach.
That
But,
Malmo place was cool. That was.
Yeah,
for
it was
sure.
good. I remember when we arrived there, we hacked down to the beach and got the horses' feet wet.
That's pretty cool.
That's neat.
It's cool to do that stuff.
And then you also came over here and won Kentucky as well.
Yeah, that's
which,
right.
Was that been a long time?
That was been a long time as
Right.
well. I've competed twice at Kentucky, once with Ben a long time, and that was my first time over, and he won. I mean, he's been a phenomenal horse for me,
I saw you trying to lead him in from the thunderstorms a
Right,
couple
yeah.
weeks ago.
Look, he is retired here in Ocala, and he is still full of beans.
That's pretty
He's
cool.
been such a great horse to me. I didn't want to keep running him until he, had no more. And honestly, he was actually a tricky horse. So it wasn't really like pass him on to some youngster
Right.
because he was really he took a lot to get the performance out of him. And leading him in and out of the field is a challenge.
Was that in Australia?
Just 'cause he's on his toes,
What
you
was
know.
been a long time? What was he?
Well, he was an Irish bred horse. He's actually, the sire is by Cavalier Royale, who's sea line of Holstein. So
yeah.
he's sort of got German blood,
German and
but
German Irish.
born in Ireland. Yeah.
And that you get a lot of your horses from Germany or from Europe, right?
Yeah, that's right. I've got a partner in Germany, Eckhart Siewert, and we've been, doing this for years now. He finds the horses. A lot of times I'll go over and look as well, but sometimes we're talking on videos, or he's showing me all the videos
Right.
and the trials and stuff, and we talk about the horses and things.
So you got that, and thus when they come over here, you put the FE in front, right?
Yeah, well, yeah. I mean, the good thing about how we've set it up is that all the horses that we have, we own in Europe.
Right.
Before they come over. They go to Eki. He's got a wife and 3 daughters.
Right.
They ride the horses. So we know by the time they get on the plane to come over, there's no spinning, there's no rearing.
You've got it down.
There's
pretty
no
well.
crap, and what we've tried to do is really focus on very good temperaments. I mean, movement, jump,
I can definitely tell. I mean,
Temperament's the big thing.
Temperament for me is really important, especially because the majority of the clients here are, we're not the professionals really.
Yeah,
I mean, we've had a few professionals take horses from us, but they would need to be good for juniors or amateurs.
Except for Ben a long time. He can be difficult.
He can be difficult because I'm the only one that really handles him. The girls bring him in and out. Every time Ellie comes over, though, my daughter who lives in the UK, every time she comes over, she always sort of brings him in and the girls give him a bit of a brush and she'll have a little sit.
That's because she's a pretty tough girl.
And then she realised he's going to prance around and not be easy to ride.
You've got to be
she
proud
puts him
of
back
her.
out in the field.
She puts him back.
I saw her ride last year. She's a good rider.
Oh, really? Where
I think at your farm.
Oh, at our place.
Yep.
Okay, yeah.
It was you were having a local show that weekend. I think we tried some horses.
Yeah.
And your daughter came out there. It reminded me of Lisa when she was younger.
Right.
You could just put her on anything.
Yeah, no, she's really
Does she event back
good.
home?
It's funny because when she was a baby, when she was young, we didn't want to push her that way. She was actually really into acting and all that sort of thing.
Well, good for
and we sort of said we'd support whatever you wanted to do, but now she's really got
So she's eventing.
got the eventing bug, and she's just been at I was just chatting to her before we came up here, and she's been at a young rider training camp. And
then you got another one coming up.
yeah, a little baby. So one at 17, and one 4 month old. So little Hunter,
Right.
little boy. So it was nice to have a one
You're
of
saying
each,
he's getting
a
pretty,
brace.
He's getting
so to
pretty
speak.
tall.
He is. He's in the 98th percentile for height. So he's like wearing 7-month-old baby clothes.
How does he get so tall? Because you're like normal height.
No,
I guess
he's not.
Lisa's
He's
pretty
tall.
tall. How tall are you?
I'm 5'11", but
That's the same as me. That's not tall.
Lisa's all the guys on Lisa's side of the family, all the guys are really over 6 foot. So
Okay.
I
There
think
you go.
that's come.
It's gonna come that
from,
way.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
Perfect.
So yeah, he loves the horses and loves going down, and yeah, it's been
see him all the
a
time.
joy
He's
to
always there.
have that. In fact, that's one of the advantages. He was born sort of during that well, not quite during the COVID,
Right.
before that, but we wouldn't have really wanted to have to go through that while
With
the birth and
full-blown,
everything.
yeah.
But the one thing was we got plenty of time to spend with him, so
That's cool.
That was fun.
And so you went to Chattahoochee this past weekend,
Yep.
and that was good? Horses were all good?
Really good. I placed with everything. I just had. I didn't really go too fast. Just give them a canter around. It's the first event for us back and running. But it was great. Effie Ophelia was back out, and
Good.
I had Coldplay, nice young horse. It was very good.
And so then where do you go from there? What's your next event?
We're probably heading up to Great Meadow. We've obviously got a few going on the weekend to pop schooling show at the horse park.
Yep.
Then Great Meadow, AECs. We'll do whatever's still
AECs.
running.
Whatever's still going.
AEC's at the end of August, and then Stableview comes up in September with the FEI classes.
Which is the weekend before Morven Park.
right.
It all gets real
It's
crammed
all
in here
cramped
real
in there,
fast.
right?
But you know what? It could all not be crammed in there too. Who knows? We'll have to see what happens, I guess.
I don't know. We'll have to see.
Yeah.
It's always a play on what's going to happen.
We're just pleased to have some events going.
Exactly.
It's good.
Absolutely.
So.
I do know, based on that, I have a medium pony going to pony finals this year, and I've been seeing a push for a lot of people trying to get it canceled, and that's August 3rd or 6th through the 9th. and I think Jon and I had the discussion about it's your personal responsibility when you're going to these shows to make sure that you keep social distancing, you keep your mask on, so that we can continue on having these USEF sponsored shows and FEI shows. But I think if you don't want to go and you feel uncomfortable, I would suggest that you don't go and don't put yourself into that position. But I feel comfortable going, and I would like my pony to go to the pony final, so please don't cancel the USEF pony final since I went Orchard Hills Snapchat to go there.
Well,
There's
listen.
no limit on age group for ponies? What's going on
I
here?
ride it all the time.
All right.
So we're going to take a quick break. I want to come back. I want to talk a little bit about how you sit on a couch apparently determines how you ride a
Evidently,
horse.
I need to ride like
Yeah.
this.
And then I want to talk a little bit about course design and maybe some more about your horses
And
and
how
the
long?
upcoming events.
Yeah, how long you been over here too?
Brilliant. Yeah.
All right, we'll be right back.
All right.
Looking for an amazing fox hunting experience? Contact Black Horse Farm, Fox Hunting and Eventing. Located in Area 4, Black Horse Farm and the Mossback Hounds in Elizabeth, Illinois welcome all USAA eventers to come join them for an introductory fox hunt free of charge. Ride with Master of the Hounds Tony Leahy and the Mossback Hounds over some of the finest hunt territory in the entire country. Visit Black Horse Farm on Facebook to arrange your free hunt experience and hear about the upcoming hunt camp in July.
Sweet Dixie South is an equestrian facility built for the lifestyle of eventers of all levels. Whether you are coming to Ocala for the entire season, a week, a month, or a year, this beautiful 160-acre farm is the place to settle in and enjoy your time with horses. They offer a full cross-country course with 2 water features, banks, ditches, an amazing footing to gallop, a spectacular all-weather footing ring, large grass jumping fields, and dressage rings. Located in the rolling hills of North Marion County in Reddick, Florida, Sweet Dixie South has 100 stalls and numerous paddocks, apartments, a line of camper hookups, washer and dryer amenities, as well as common areas to complete your experience during your stay. Under the ownership of Mike Campbell and the management of Can-Do Joe Adams of Top Rail Tack, Sweet Dixie South has transformed into a premier eventing training facility in Florida. Go to www.sweetdixiesouth.com for more information.
Welcome back to the Jon and Rick Show, brought to you by Horse Trailer Pros, and we're really excited. We still have Clayton Fredericks here. So, Clayton, when we sat down, you gave me a hard time because you said I sit on a couch.
But both of
Both
us,
of us sit on the couch like Americans. Here, slightly ahead of the motion.
Well, and
I would say it's with the motion, but you were saying that I need to
was
chill.
just saying, look, for event riders, you know, you've really got to have the horse in front of you, and you should be behind them, especially coming into the fences.
Right.
And I use it quite often when I'm teaching to say to, you know, because people get so tense and
Forward.
tight, and I just say, look, just sit, relax, like you're on your couch at home.
And now you see the problem is how I sit on a couch.
Drinking a beer and watching
Look
a
at
movie.
you now.
Trouble is, you guys were looking like you were watching a horror movie on the edge of your seat, you know. So
I was trying to be attentive, but I like this
You
better.
know why we do? You know why we do that? though?
relax, sit down,
But
relax.
why we do it is because we got to be able to like
punch.
hit each other.
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
You ready to
And
swing?
at the 6 feet distance around the sofa, we can't do that. But
So-
we did point that out.
It's
So-
just probably the Australian laid-back.
Well, and this is the
attitude.
thing. So you come in here, you tell us we need to chill out, be a little more Australian. You've got the AC/DC shirt on.
Absolutely. Yeah.
I like that you're repping. And I want you to know, I had to pick you up to come over here just from across the street where the truck was, and I had AC/DC radio on for you.
Brilliant.
But then you were on the phone, so I couldn't play it.
Ah, okay. Yeah, no.
But I did try.
That's too bad.
Greatest rock and roll band in the world.
I don't disagree. They're pretty good. I only feel that way because when I was like 17, I watched VH1 Making the Band. I think it was VH1. And it was on AC/DC. And it's amazing. You watch those shows, it doesn't matter what band they play, like that they're showing how you're a fan for life.
Yeah.
So I have based my affection for AC/DC on a 45-minute television show.
Well, as you do most of your.
Yeah, I mean, everything about me is based on just what instant gratification I can get about that, and then I love it.
So, Clayton, I got a question for you.
Okay. Serious
So-
one?
Yeah.
Good.
So
I'm
you got into course design,
Edge of my seat
Yep.
now.
and actually over the years, I mean, we've ridden your courses, and I think over the years you keep getting better. What was your last? What was the last course you designed?
The last one I did, I do three venues down here.
Okay.
Obviously the Jockey Club.
Right.
And the Grand Oaks.
Mm-hmm.
And now I do the summer season for the horse park.
Oh.
And I have to
But
say,
I haven't done a course there yet.
Horse park.
I
Jason's
have
here
to
too.
say that at the Jockey Club, we all, and I was one of the leaders of the charge, said that the distance wasn't right in a particular combination and that it wasn't going to ride right, and we gave you some serious hell about that.
I remember that
yeah,
whole thing.
Yeah, I mean, it was a big deal, and I told you there, but I'll say it here in front of God and everybody, you got it right. It rode great.
Which combination was that?
It was
The brushes at the end.
It was a double of brushes on an angle coming home. It
On the
was
top of the
slightly-
hill?
It was slightly downhill. No, it was fence 20 or 21 or something.
Yeah, and it ended up at Road Great. You were right.
Yeah, and
At the clubhouse.
Actually, you know what it was? Is I rode great, and I saved you.
you know, yeah, well, it is interesting. Like, you know, obviously.
It's a tough job, I guess, was what I was going to
Look,
say.
no one loves you at the end of the day because the main thing is that the main thing for me is that it's safe, and I know people get funny about the distances, but you know I always try to build on a true distance.
Right.
But a true distance in eventing can be quite variable, especially depending on, you know, where the fences are placed. How there's so much to it, like how the turn, the
terrain,
angle of the ground, you know, where the fences are placed in the course.
Right.
And
Well, and that was a very open course. It was a lot of galloping. So by the time you got there,
The horses
what you
were very
walked,
open.
by the time
Yeah.
you walked and thought this distance is like at least a half a stride too long, when you rode it, they were right on it because their stride was open.
People
and
listening.
the profile of that fence was very, you know, had a big ground line. It really projected them out. And
Yeah, no, it rode well.
yeah.
So well, but it is a tough job. being
That was a big
designer.
relief to me, I
So-
can say, because you know it's always hard. You try to stand your ground a little bit without being, you know, it's very important. I mean, I'm very sensitive to what the riders think,
Sure.
you know, because I am a rider and, you know, I have to go the next week and ride
Right.
next to you.
Right.
But, you know, I'm sensitive about that, but I also feel that sometimes, you know, sometimes it's important that the course designer feels strong about what you know, what they've said and sticks to the
it,
gun.
and it worked out.
I mean, yeah,
was
that's
good.
right.
You were
and,
right.
And there is always, I mean, it's not, I don't think it's, I think it's very important to listen to everyone who has an opinion and not get you. I'm not one for really sticking my heels in and getting really, you know, really against change because, and you know, if you talk to some of the TDs that I've worked with, you know, it's good to work with everyone.
Sure, sure. Well, I mean,
and be flexible.
I think there is something to the idea that if the riders are going out of the box concerned, they ride better.
Yeah, I'd agree. And also, a lot of, you know, I've got to consider the whole field. The rider who's squawking or doing the complaining or, you know, they're only really thinking about the horse that they're sitting on.
Right.
And, you know, sometimes there are situations when riders are at events with a horse that maybe is qualified or is got their MERs, but really is
Not ready for that.
not ready for that.
Right.
And, you know, it's interesting to talk about, you know, the calendar and where events are situated in the
good topic.
calendar. But really our job is to maintain the level,
Right.
not think about the timing of the, you know, and yes, there is a little bit of that, of course, when
Sure.
you've had no events and you know, suddenly you've got
Yeah,
a
but if you
four-star.
get somebody who's at Kentucky and they've only done horse trials that have been soft, easy horse trials at the right time of year and gotten qualified that way, then suddenly it hits them very hard in the face.
That's exactly right. So, you know, it's more important that the consistency of the level is
Right.
there. And I suppose in a funny way, the fact that I've been all through Europe, competed in Australia, you know, I've done a lot of events all over the world.
Right.
I think that really has helped me have a good idea of what the levels are. I mean, it's
I
you don't
think
get it
that's
always
important.
wrong,
Right.
but sorry, you don't get it always right.
Or always wrong.
But you know, it's important, and yeah.
Well, that's good. And I mean, just to hear you talk about designing and when you know that you're going to have 120 horses step out into your course or more, go out there and gallop around. I know you don't take a deep breath until the end of the day.
No, and you can have the crazy things like we all have a rating system as well now. So, if you get falls on course, that really hits your rating.
So on your ratings as a designer, you get a rating board saying you had 6 RFs or 3 MRs.
Well, if you're getting all that, you're really in the
really
trouble.
bad.
But obviously, horse falls is not a good situation, and you try to avoid. Well, you try to avoid all falls, but at the same time, it is a dangerous sport, and there is a lot of risk, and you cannot control the way the rider comes at the fence.
Right.
So there are some things that are out of your control. But having said that, all the courses, the rating's been really good. But then in the 2-star, someone fell at fence 2, had a rotational at fence 2. Well, fence 2 was an oxer with a big ground line. I mean, who knows how
it
I
is.
can see it.
It is interesting though, because Clayton's right because I'm on one of the FEI, the risk management committee, and we get at the end of the year all the statistics of all the designers that design FEI competitions in the world, and to go through there and see, it's actually amazing how good the designers are at their job. But if you get somebody, I can't even think of one, but if you do get somebody who's had a bad year, that does get flagged, and they'll get a letter from the FEI saying, hey, Clayton, what happened at this particular event? Not that you got one.
No,
but
yeah,
you know what I mean, just as an example.
And
it's good actually to see that I think the FEI sometimes gets a little bit, because they're the big brother, a little bit of a bad rep of, they're doing this, they're doing that, but actually they do try to keep track of all that stuff, and
which is important.
which is pretty cool stuff.
It is, and look, we have the FEI do have a very good system for checks and balances of, with the TD, who, should do more, but should meet up with the course designers a little earlier to go through, and discuss things that are proposed for the event. Sometimes that's all a bit last minute, but by the time you have the course, the TD, then the ground jury, then the riders see the course. By the time we get through all that process, there is a lot of checks and balances on what I'm producing.
Right. It's a tough job. I love the idea of it, but I don't envy you guys with the work that you do. So listen, we're about out of time. I appreciate you coming in.
Thanks,
we appreciate you coming in.
Yeah.
I do appreciate you addressing how I sit on a couch, because I think I'm going to adopt this pose going forward. It's much better. It's much more relaxing.
Yeah, chill.
Hopefully it'll help me get over the corner next time I go over to Europe or wherever.
Just keep that.
I'll stop checking out the girls on the beach. Yeah. All right.
Thanks for coming.
Thanks
a lot.
for having me.
Appreciate it.
All right. We'll be right back after these messages.
The equestrian life has big highs, heartbreaking lows, and so many moments of self-doubt. From CCI 5-star to starter, every rider needs a support system and a cheering section. A care package filled with equestrian goodies can be the perfect way to celebrate, congratulate, or commiserate. Let Present Pony do the work so you don't have to miss an opportunity to express your love and support. When I compete, I demand the best out of my horses and myself. That means being the best version of me I can, both mentally and physically. That's why CrossFit Antics is my home gym. Coach Vilma creates a fun, welcoming environment that encourages athletes from beginners to seasoned veterans to be their best. New to CrossFit? No problem. Coach V will modify the workout to suit you in a fun, challenging way. Be sure to mention the Jon and Rick show for a special discount. Summit Joint Performance, the injectable joint supplement used by numerous international and Olympic riders, invites you to experience the winning Summit difference. Made of all natural ingredients, Summit increases mobility and comfort. Win your class with Summit Joint Performance.
Okay, welcome back to the Jon and Rick Show, brought to you by Horse Trailer Pros, and I am very excited to be joined by Shelley Page and Max Corcoran, my good friends and organizers of a lot of events in the East Coast and
What was that face for, Max?
I said not a lot. Wait, there are a few. Not a lot.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
A few events along the East Coast and throughout the country. They're pretty good at what they do. And presently, they are actually joining us here from Poplar Place. So thank you both for joining us. And tell us a little bit what you're doing this week.
Well, thank you for having us. We're really excited to be on your show. We are both currently at Poplar Place Farm in Hamilton, Georgia. And as you know, the facility was bought about 3 years ago by Lana Desports. And we're excited to have intermediate added back into the levels that we're hosting this week. And she has done an amazing job on the cross country course. Max can, she's been out and about. She's bought an aerator, she's rolled it. They've been mowing it, and the footing I don't think has ever been better, has ever looked better. So we're really excited.
That's exciting. And who's the designer there?
Morgan Roselle.
Morgan. Yeah, he does a great job. That's cool. And I'm excited they've added the intermediate back in because it's been a couple years since they have had that, hasn't it?
That's correct. Yep.
Yeah. Well, that's cool. And Max, you said you were out there and you saw it and the course looks good.
The footing is the best I've seen it probably. I mean, I came here back in the early 2000s. It's about the best I've seen it. They've had quite a bit of rain, and it's very, very green. And with the regular mowing and the rolling and the aerating, it just makes the quality of the soil itself so much better, and the grass cover, there's unbelievable grass cover. So the guys are out there mowing right now, and it looks great. It really does look great.
Very cool. And so you guys, I sort of caught you in the middle of your work day, so thanks for taking the time. And you were, when I got on the computer here, you guys were busy laminating some stuff. So what were you laminating to go around the farm?
Well,
stop the coronavirus, stop the spread.
And I have the symptoms of coronavirus.
Which is interesting because one of the symptoms which worried me that Max had pointed out was about new confusion.
I know. I don't know how you test for new versus old confusion, as you say.
Considering our ability to work computers here, I'm afraid that the three of us might have one of the symptoms.
Yeah, we're hopeless.
Yeah.
Well, that's cool. So you're going to have those around and make sure everybody's following the rules. So what else do you guys have to do? You have temperature checks when they come on the property?
We do at the entrance gate, which there's only one. We will have someone checking temperatures every day, and they will be given a different color wristband every day. So any of the officials or staff on the property will be able to see if someone's been checked or not just by looking at their wrist. So we think that helps, mitigate the confusion.
Yeah.
And then what do you do if you get somebody who's difficult and decides they're not going to listen and don't want to do it?
Well, the nice thing is that, which has worked for other competitions, is we can stop the entire competition and make an announcement to say that the competition will be on hold until this person complies.
Perfect. That would get me to do it.
Yeah, and if even
them.
with that, if they continue to not comply, they will be asked to leave, and if they won't leave, then they will be
escorted
off the property
by the sheriff.
Well,
so
hopefully we don't have any of those issues, but it's good to know that there are some strict guidelines that are going to be adhered to and listened to. It makes me feel better about going out and seeing
and
stuff.
We're going to have zero tolerance for it. When you enter the event and sign all the new release forms, you are agreeing to all the protocols. So hopefully it'll be.
Yeah, I even see you've got all the spray bottles of alcohol and hand sanitizer on the counter behind you. So you guys are ready to go. So one of the things that I had heard that I know you guys could probably shed some light on was Blue Ridge Mountain, Blue Ridge Mountain, is that right? Up at Tryon. I was told that there was a good chance that event was not going to be running.
That rumor is not true. They are running their event in September. It will run beginner, novice through advanced on Saturday and Sunday only. And we have just added young event horse to Friday. So we're really excited about that.
So not only is it running, but they're adding more divisions. That's pretty cool. That's good to know. See, sometimes you hear these rumors, you got to go right to the source.
There's all kinds of rumors.
Well, my screen went blank there for a second. Can you guys still see me?
we can see you.
All right, let's hope everything's still working good. I got that new symptom. So then the next thing that I'd heard was that Virginia Horse Trials up in Virginia, in Lexington, Virginia. Andy Bowles is the organizer there, and that he wasn't going to be able to accept any riders from the state of Florida because of the big outbreak. So what do you guys know about that?
Yeah, I talked to Andy directly today. Again, I feel like this is sort of a good thing for everybody to do, is just, if you have a confusion about something, instead of chitty-chatting about it, just go to the source and figure it out, which I think is quite important to do. So I talked to Andy directly, and he said that was not the case, that he is looking forward to having everybody there, because it is a state-owned facility. The state health departments really like what the USEF has mandated. It's a lot stricter than what the average, if we go out in the world, we go to the grocery store, nobody is mandated to wear a face mask. Nobody's mandated to do social distancing. Whereas at a horse show, we actually are. And it's outside, and there are no spectators and all that. So everybody is going to be welcome, and they're looking forward to having, it looks like they've got a ton of entries. They're going to have a big week there.
Cool. All right. Well, good to know that we can still go there. So then the last one one of the last ones I wanted to talk to you guys about was Great Meadow. Max, I know you're involved with Great Meadow. I know David O'Connor is up there and Darren Millette as the organizers. And you were telling me that there was a possibility they were going to be adding a division. Yeah,
they're pending USEF approval, which should happen, I think, at the end of this week. Just has to go through all the committees and stuff. We are going to be offering a 3-long with no 3-longs that have happened this year yet, and probably very few that are going to happen. I think there's one at the Virginia Horse Center at the end of the year, and potentially one that's going to be at Mid-South in late October, and then one at the last fall 3-day. The riders have asked Great Meadow if they would take that on, and also with Bromont being postponed again.
Sure.
They asked if we would take that on, and Darren and David said, yes, we're going to make that happen. So pending the USEF approval, we are going to have a 3-long, which will be great. David and Derek DeGrazia is coming out to be the course advisor. So it should be a really nice track. It's all pretty well irrigated and everything. And the other thing we're doing new this year is we're going to have a preliminary national division too. So that'll be nice for if anybody wants to bring their younger preliminary horses.
Very cool. And that's the end of August, right? August 21st, 22nd, 23rd?
21, 22 in that weekend there. Yep. Yeah, the
cool.
weekend, fortunately, before the AEC, which is going to be tough.
But it's the same weekend the son's getting married, so she can't go to the wedding. So
that's a bummer. But exciting, your son's getting married.
Exactly.
Yes, very exciting.
Good, cool. And we like the girl?
We love the girl.
Yeah, she's great.
All right.
Right. Yeah.
That makes it much easier for
It
your
does.
son.
Yes, it does.
Very cool. And then I'm especially excited because I've been hearing rumors about this great place getting built south of here called Terra Nova, and you guys are both involved a bit in that. So why don't you tell us a little bit about it? Where is it and who owns that?
Terra Nova Equestrian Center is located in Mayaca City, Florida, which is just outside of Sarasota. It's, what'd you say, 20 miles?
About 20 miles
About 20
west.
miles out west.
East. Sorry.
If it's west, we're in the Gulf.
East, yeah. And it's a beautiful new facility that we have our first eventing date in October of 2021, and running beginner, novice through advanced, and we've applied for 1, 2, 3-star short. And they're hoping to run eventing, dressage, jumpers, hunters, a little bit of everything. The rings are being built by Worldly Martin. I believe the number of rings they're going to put in will be 7. With the big permanent VIP pavilion and permanent stalls that will be similar to Tryon's model. And we're really excited. Hannah Herrig is the owner. She got married and has a new last name that I'm hopeless to pronounce. So I'm going to call her Hannah Herrig. But she's been fantastic to work with. She and her family are behind it, and it's going to be a super great project.
Right.
Yeah.
Her and her husband's Zach, right? With the name
Zach,
I can't pronounce.
yeah,
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're nice people. I do know them from the events. He's a very quiet guy, but a very nice guy.
Yes.
Exactly.
Well, cool. Well, that's super exciting that that's going to be happening as well. And you guys are in the middle of your workday, so I'm not going to keep you too much longer other than just to say thank you for hopping on the call. Thanks for dealing with all of the technical difficulties on my end. And you guys have a great weekend up there at Poplar. Stay safe and make sure everybody does what they're supposed to do so we can keep eventing.
Absolutely.
Yep.
All right.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. So we'll be right back with Bronwyn Watts. Thanks so much, everybody. Jump for Joy USA has what you need for your private farm or recognized competition. Our jumps are no maintenance, easy to move, and affordable. No scraping or painting necessary. We offer jump stands, wings, fillers, water trays, and more. Poles are wood-filled and available in 4 weights and lengths, and we now offer octagonal poles. Our cross-country portables and brush jumps are extremely useful and have been used for training by the British eventing team since 1990. Easy to move from the arena to the field and no tractor required, so you can change your setup often. We ship coast to coast in the USA and Canada. Visit our website, jumpforjoyusa.com. When I compete, I demand the best out of my horses and myself. That means being the best version of me I can, both mentally and physically. That's why CrossFit ANTICS is my home gym. Coach Vilma creates a fun, welcoming environment that encourages athletes from beginners to seasoned veterans to be their best. New to CrossFit? No problem. Coach V will modify the workout to suit you in a fun, challenging way. Be sure to mention the Jon and Rick Show for a special discount.
Sweet Dixie South is an equestrian facility built for the lifestyle of eventers of all levels. Whether you are coming to Ocala for the entire season, a week, a month, or a year, this beautiful 160-acre farm is the place to settle in and enjoy your time with horses. They offer a full cross-country course with 2 water features, banks, ditches, and amazing footing to gallop, a spectacular all-weather footing ring, large grass jumping fields, and dressage rings. Located in the rolling hills of North Marion County in Reddick, Florida, Sweet Dixie South has 100 stalls and numerous paddocks, apartments, a line of camper hookups, washer and dryer amenities, as well as common areas to complete your experience during your stay. Under the ownership of Mike Campbell and the management of Can-Do Joe Adams of Top Rail Tack, Sweet Dixie South has transformed into a premier eventing training facility in Florida. Go to www.sweetdixiesouth.com for more information.
All right, welcome back to the Jon and Rick Show, brought to you by Horse Trailer Pros, and as always, available on all the podcasts. And I'm really excited that I have my good friend, Bronwyn Watts here. Bronwyn, thanks for joining us.
Yeah, thanks for being here.
Thanks for having me, guys.
The main reason Bronwyn is on the show is because she does a really cool thing with nurse mares. So I want to talk about that for sure. Bronwyn and I go way back, known her for years because you groomed for
everybody.
For Lainey for a long time,
Yep.
and then for the Pollards for a long time,
Yep.
and then you were kind enough to come and move down here and look after my son Caden for us while we were
Yep.
out, which actually is kind of funny because it goes into this whole nurse mare thing, Rick, where
You talked about nipples?
Jen would go out riding when Caden was newborn, and she'd be riding on the farm, and then she'd get a phone call and say, Mom, I'm hungry. So you got into the whole nurse mare
Right.
thing very early because then Jen would have to go in and take care of nursing
I
Caden.
thought it was going to be a different story.
No, it's not. It's not. So that, I'm sure, inspired you into this
Yes.
whole new thing you're doing.
Yeah, how did you get started in that? By the way, can you explain to everybody out there what is a nurse mare?
Right. So there's the traditional nurse mare industry, which you have a grade mare. They breed her to oftentimes this teaser stallion at these big farms,
Right.
and they get a grade foal. They don't care what it is. That mare gives birth to that foal, and then that foal is pulled off of the mare because it's just a byproduct, and they take that mare and lease her out to a more valuable orphan foal. So she creates an orphan foal to go nurse a more valuable orphan
And
foal.
what happens to to her foal?
That's a good question.
Does it get put down, or does it?
There's a lot of things that happen.
So any number of horrible things could happen to that foal. and
we'll
nobody
just
cares.
leave it at that. Yep.
So, but yours isn't that way. The way you
No.
do it is not
So
that way.
that's why this inspired you to start what you've started, because
Yeah.
that's kind of brutal.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
Right,
Yeah.
okay.
So I heard about that industry, and it just hit me really hard, and I just started looking into how can we go about this in a different way.
Right.
And so I came across an article about hormone-induced nurse mares, and they basically they use hormone therapy and
To create the thought that they're pregnant.
and they start lactating without breeding them and without,
Wow.
So
nobody else thought of that? That was a great thing that you did.
Yeah, so they've actually been doing this over in Europe for about 12
Of
years.
course, Europe gets on top of
Yep.
it before we ever do.
Yeah.
Hold on. Okay, go
Yeah.
on.
Got to lean back like Clayton
And-
said.
Right. But of course over here it's really slow to get going for
Right.
whatever reason. There is a woman up in New York State named Laura Phoenix, and she was actually the first here in the United States to have a successful program
Wow.
with the hormone induced. So I reached out to her, and we became really good friends. We do a lot of networking together. She covers the Northeast, I cover the Southeast.
So how do you go about it? Do you have a group of? Tell us how your business is built. What do you do?
So I get all of my mares are given to me, and they're all proven brood mares. They've had multiple.
You won't
foals.
take the old one I'm trying to give you. I've been trying to give you my old mare for 10
I
years.
pulled her out twice.
I know, she was a bad mom. Anyway, go on.
So we get all our brood mares. They've at least had a couple of foals
So
themselves.
you know that they have a good
Yeah.
repertoire with their babies
Yep.
when they come up. They don't try to kill it like evidently yours.
Mine
does.
did not try to kill
No,
her.
she
was
didn't
fine.
try.
She was a fine mom.
She was like a teenage mom. She was like
Yeah.
a teenager. She
Well,
was
she's
just
not
like,
teenage
oh.
anymore.
Yeah.
No, she's a 20-some-year-old now.
Yeah.
So you get all these qualified mares.
Yep.
You have them in your list to be used, and then you get. How do you promote that to people that might have an orphaned foal?
Yeah, so basically we get the mares at the beginning of the year. Foaling season starts middle of January. We will start between 4 and 6 of them at a time, and we basically stagger them out through the year. So we bring them into lactation, we milk them twice a day, and then once we get a call, then that mare goes out, and then we pull one in from the field, start her on protocol, and so we stagger it out.
So have you found that you've been behind the 8 ball where you didn't have a mare ready? Or?
Yeah, that's definitely happened. The calls come in waves.
Right. And so it's about how you promote
yeah.
and try to get that done, because you never can predict when
Right.
a foal's going to die.
Yeah, exactly.
Right?
When
Or
it's-
when a mare dies, or
a
rejects.
mare dies.
Yeah.
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 It's a tough business, isn't it? Because just from watching from the outside the last couple of years, it seems like it's a big part of this business is actually figuring out how do you transport these mares to wherever they need to be as quickly as possible. So, like, part of your business is truck driver.
Yeah, I am a certified truck driver at this point.
Yeah, and so-
I thought I did a lot of driving as a groom. That
Doesn't even compare.
No.
So
doesn't
where's
even
your biggest
compare.
clientele then?
Florida.
Florida.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which you just relocated to Ocala.
Yep, I just moved to Ocala. So.
Because where all the foals are
Yep.
being born.
Yep. Yeah.
cool.
So and we have this year we have 5 mares in Kentucky as well.
Okay.
And then they're kind of spread out. You know, we have mares in Tennessee, North Carolina, Georgia, South
So
Carolina,
how long,
Virginia.
typically, I've had several foals before. How long are they wean at 5 months? What do-
Yeah, 4 to 6 months.
4 to 6.
Yeah, I leave it up to the owners of the
to
foals.
decide when to do it?
Yep.
Okay.
They have basically up until 6 months, because our mares, once they get weaned, they come back home and they get a proper vacation. So they get 4 to 6 months of being chucked out in the
Which
field with their
makes
girlfriends.
them back in the cycle back for the mid-January foaling.
Yeah.
So that's a good cycle for
Yep.
them.
Yeah, and their bodies need a break too.
Yeah,
we
definitely.
don't keep them rolling all year. So
It's tough.
yeah.
Well, that's very, wow.
Yeah.
Good for you.
Yeah. Yeah.
And how long,
I love
how
it.
long has it been going on?
This was our second year, and we have
Because I've seen
30
you
mares.
all over Facebook.
Yeah.
I'm like, there she is again.
Right.
There she is again. But
Yeah,
then-
the power of Facebook,
But
man.
didn't I see you travel a lot for a while?
Yes. So I took a little hiatus and
I was like, she's in Tahiti.
right.
Yeah, she was world traveler.
She's
Yeah.
on the top of the Alps.
right.
Yeah, so where'd you go?
I kind of, packed up 2 backpacks and took off. I flew into Belize, and then I backpacked my way all the way down through Central America.
That's amazing. Did you
yeah,
have fun?
I had a blast. And then I hopped on a plane and flew over to South America and did South America.
How long did you do that? A year?
8 months.
Almost a year. Because I do remember saying, she's at waterfalls.
Right.
Yeah.
Where is she now?
Yeah, I was all over the place.
So did you like that? Did you need that? Was that like pray, soul, a
Yeah, for sure.
searching?
That's how I actually came up with the program, the Nurse Mare program. Is I kind of reached a little bit of a low point. I had a lot of personal things going on, and I was just like, you know what? Like, I'm just gonna pack a bag and sell all my stuff and
I
go.
think I wish I could do that.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah, and everybody told me not to do it. Everybody's like, you're a female. This is such a bad idea.
So did you ever have a bad experience on the trip?
Not one.
Nothing. No
Nope.
bandits coming out of the mountains trying to get you. No gorillas out of the mist.
No.
That's very cool.
Yeah.
Did you ever have like a bad experience where you went and tried to kill somebody yourself? Nothing. No. So you weren't being attacked or attacking anyone.
No.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
Like,
That's
just going to admit
It
that
was good.
anyway.
Well, I mean, I'm just saying, if you're not being attacked, sometimes it's because you're the attacker.
Good for you.
Yeah. So actually,
All right, it's good to know.
Yeah.
I feel
so-
better now that I've left you in charge of my kid.
So at the end of this whole thing, what was your favorite part of the 8 months?
Ooh, the Galapagos.
Really?
I spent 11 days there, and it was.
And what did you
amazing.
do? Just
A whole lot of nothing. I mean, I went scuba diving, so I got my scuba diving license in Panama.
right.
And then I did scuba diving there, and I got to dive a plane crash and a boat wreck, which was pretty
And
amazing.
you went with just yourself.
Yep, just myself.
Did you meet a lot of
Panicky
people?
just thinking about it, to be
Yeah,
honest.
I met a ton of people.
Do you speak Spanish or anything?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Did you before you went?
No, so I went and I lived in Guatemala for 8 weeks at a Spanish school. So I lived with a local family.
You're so smart to do that.
Yeah.
That's amazing. So then you were being able to at least communicate.
Yeah. Yeah, well, living with the locals and they don't speak any English.
Right,
So,
nothing.
yeah,
Hey,
so
Poquito
I
es mango.
spent like
if you
a
want to eat,
few
you gotta
years,
learn.
I spent like a week or so here or there in Cancun, and I can say, where's the bathroom? I need a beer.
Cancun doesn't even count. That's like a
No. I can say, I got the key things. Where's the bathroom? I need a beer, and the girl is beautiful. What else do you need?
Yeah, I mean, for a guy, that's about it.
Yeah. And I think I know how to ask for where's the beach, but I just say La Playa, and then they send me that way.
There you go.
It's fine.
Well, I think it's so cool. I lived through you on Facebook, so I was
Thanks.
like, where's she now?
Right.
Yeah.
I was like, something's going on with her. What's
Yeah, I
happening?
know. Well,
But-
so that's how I ended up finding. I kind of packed up and left, and I was like, everybody's like, well, "What are you gonna do?" Da, 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 da. And I was like, "I don't know. I'll figure it out." Like,
And you
it
did.
all-
Like,
it
you
all
did,
came
and you
to
figured it
So
out.
Yeah.
Did it come to you on the trip, or
Yep.
did it come? So
So I was actually sitting. I was sitting on the porch of my Airbnb in Santiago, Chile.
Right.
And I came across this article online about hormone-induced nurse mares. And I
And
was
you
like,
already knew about
and
nurse mares
yeah,
before?
And I had just learned about nurse mares a few months prior.
which devastated you because of what was
Yeah,
happening with the
exactly.
grade foal.
Yeah. And so and it just hit me like a ton of bricks.
Wow.
And I was just like, that's what I want to do. And
That
that's
is
from
so-
that moment on that I
is
just started
so
planning
cool.
Well,
I respect you.
it. Oh, thanks.
I did before, but I
Right.
really even more now.
Bronwyn, thanks for coming on.
Yeah.
It's a great story. I really appreciate you taking the time.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
You said you were a little nervous, but you did great.
Oh my gosh, you
thanks.
did really good.
So well done. You gotta just adopt
a
this,
very bright
this
light.
more southern hemisphere pose and
Right,
just
okay.
chill. Yeah. So anyway, thank you everybody for joining us.
Yep.
We had a great
Remember,
time.
if you need a nurse mare,
Yeah,
Yeah.
this is the lady.
Here's where
She's
you go.
probably tapped out right now.
Yeah,
but
they're all
she'll be
the
ready
mares
for
are
next
out.
season. Thanks for joining us for today's show. We had a great time, and we'll see you in a couple weeks for our next show, where we are going to have, amongst a bunch of other really cool people, Jason Reynolds from the Florida Horse Park.
yeah, we love Jason.
Yeah, so we're really excited to have him, and we'll talk to you guys then.
Rick Wallace,
And I have Don Holly here with me.
3 phases, dressage, cross country, show jump, and you're out on course and something's going wrong or going right. You know how to react to what they're doing.
It was built originally to be a schooling facility, and so everything's set up very conveniently.